Good morning, everybody. It's Imaginary Dream, and welcome to day 8 in my Figuary journal. And today's topic is called Tricky Pose from the people at Love Life Drawing. And of course, thanks to CroquisCafe for providing the wonderful models to pose for us to practice figure sketching. And so, tricky poses, and here I will show first one of the sample pictures from Love Life Drawing, and it's basically what do we do when a pose is a little tricky, right? That maybe we are not able to see their torso or body, whether it's because the arms or legs are blocking, and they basically talk that there are other ways and different techniques to see the image when things are a little tricky, whether to see the whole picture and the entire shape before going into the smaller and individual proportions of the body, similar with how I did with the previous day where the lady was holding this giant curtain cloth, and I decided to sketch out the outer area of the cloth first before drawing her, the model, inside that cloth. So it's like drawing this large area or box basically of where the body would be inside. But without further ado, I would like to first show this picture sample from Love Life Drawing. But here, one thing to see, and something that I've been taught so long time ago, I'm trying to come back to drawing again, is basically that you can see the leg as a cylinder basically. So because of perspective, either a cylinder may be over here and as so, or in this case it's very much forward and going like this inwards. So the more we go into perspective, the smaller it gets. But because of how our legs go, we know in the lower portions of the leg it's actually quite thin, while the upper areas is thick. So the actual size doesn't really change too much. And as the example shown, we're not really able to see too much of the body, and so we can infer from this leg right here coming up instead, while the body is sort of intersecting at this point, not too much on the head, and so we infer from the arm shape, and they were about to draw this sort of very nice straight line going down to help us understand sort of each of the measurements, I suppose. That's all I wanted to say about this very nice example from Love Life Drawing, and I will get into my sketches for the day. Now we start off with this first sketch, and compared to the previous days, I'm a little bit more positive feeling with it. We have again this leg going into the background, while the foreground, the leg stays quite stable. And then I try to sort of implement that where this sort of stepping forward and stepping back, and they're not sort of at the same level, which is not supposed to be, since everything is supposed to be sort of in perspective. The only thing that I'll say for next time is actually the measurement of sort of this leg down to the knee, because it seems that I missed out on where this knee is and then how long the lower part of the leg is supposed to be. This looks like a small chicken leg, and I would want to do a little bit better on that part. I made the body here a little bit stiff compared to how the body is a little bit more curved and smooth over, and inferring to the previous lesson, this side is much wider than the other side of the body, and so it's not shown as well as it might should be. And once again, this arm is should be a more outward than lowered than pointing down. It should be closer to 90 degrees. But for our first sketch compared to previous weeks, I think it worked out quite well. So let's see the next one. And so the next one is this very beautiful pose, and I really like how the curtain sort of just curves upward, though I almost sort of did not have enough space, but I'll still say that the proportions of the legs are still too short than reality. Let me see if I can sort of draw a line through and see, like, based on those two lines, then maybe it's actually more correct than I intended. When I was drawing, I thought it was a little bit too short, but I guess it's quite okay. Let me check the shoulders. I should be doing this more next time. Just improving the format as we go. But yeah, shoulders are okay, head area is okay, buttocks and lower areas. So let me quickly erase this, and then there's a few other things that I would like to talk about to improve next time. And so I do notice that this shoulder does seem to be a little bit off. Either I need to make this come out a little bit more and then a larger curve over, but it just doesn't look right to me now that I am reviewing it a second time. I decided to go with this long curve on the side because her side body over here is more curved, while we have this contraction or squash on this side. So I try to show that forward here, and if we draw a larger line, we would see that we start from her hand, and then it's almost like a long curvature. Actually, maybe not so much down here, but we can infer that the leg is actually bent, or at least her left leg is bent. This leg might be actually straight. We actually have from this back portion is curved again one more time at the bottom. But I quite sort of liked the outcome of this sketch. But let's move on to the next one. This one I went a little bit more crazy with. Let's just try to let the body flow instead of just trying to be more accurate with sort of what each small detail looks like. So let's just start with sort of the flow, where it goes down this leg. We can also infer to the hands going up a little bit, but not as much. We have a larger line going downward there. So I try to sort of let this back be the flow, but I didn't emphasize that too much. But then I kind of sort of got confused between the lines going down here and then her waist coming out, where I was not able to separate the two, so it just looks like she has a larger belly than reality. It seems a little bit smaller than it should, so we'll have to fix that for next time. And then the legs seems to be rather small, or the only thing that I was trying to show of this flowing motion going up and then straight down. So we'll have to work on the upper body next time. Our next photo here, and it's a very interesting photo, now more complicated because it's a side view and the leg is really exaggerated going upward and is very close to the shin. I didn't really get close enough in comparison, And seeing this large curve on her back, I tried to implement the same thing, but kind of missed out on the butt, and so it looks very, very flat. And this sort of belly area and where the leg comes out really got me confused during the sketch, and I ended up wasting quite a lot of time. So we need to work on that for next time. And I sort of really paid attention and tried to observe where her neck is and ensure that I didn't accidentally like draw a shoulder without any neck compared to the previous uh, days. And I think the hand sort of turned out okay, but I need to draw with more confidence with the strokes at this point. Kind of missed out on the shape of the leg. It should be outward, and in this case I might have run out of paper at this point. Another very interesting pose, we have a large curve going over here and her arms stretched out, and you can see a little bit of arm, but I kind of ran out of time and did not draw the second arm. So she's a one-armed lady. But the smaller curve over here was a little bit more challenging to draw properly. I think I sort of drew the backside a little bit better, but maybe curved the leg a little bit too much when it's not fully 180 degree or curved all the way through. Leg is a little bit too large. So the only thing I'll say is okay was sort of this one hand position and maybe the face just a little bit. But I still want to work on like the actual shape of the head next time. Now to our last sketch. I really wonder if we could try to sort of see how this will look. And of course there's no sketching on top, but it's only later that I realized that I kind of made her body a little bit too long, didn't I? And like where her back was bending was a bit too far. But that is all in the past now. And only after I finished, and then it's like, yeah, I kind of made the body a little bit too long than reality. I will need to observe more on where her back is bending downward. Here I kind of accidentally made it go up and then down when it's more like straight then down. And then we have a nice curve over here, and I kind of liked how this time we have this outward curve on the leg. I made sure to have the outward curve, and then the other leg sort of curve the other way, and so I would want to make this knee a little bit more angled. Maybe I should do that next time. Fix this bottom foot leg pose. I kind of wanted to sort of draw it properly, but then one after the other it didn't really work out the way I wanted to. And then somehow this head didn't seem right at all, and this leg is more pointing down, but I exaggerated a little bit more to make it go outwards. That will be the end of today's journal. Hope you sort of enjoy and see something new, and if you do like this format or anything else, be free to comment below and maybe subscribe to see more updates. I will try to keep making these daily videos until the end of Figuary and strive to improve, and we will sort of compare from the first day until the last day. And I'll see you all next time. Good night.